So the music video I'm analysing right now is Pity Party, and it's basically a pop, indie narrative and performance where the character, who is also played by the artist, is sending out invitations to her party which no one can go to. So first look on the video, we also have a theorist, Todorov, with his theory that each narrative has 5 parts. We can apply this by the equilibrium being she giving out the invitations, the conflict being that no one returns, the resolution is to have a tantrum, new equilibrium is she's finished having a tantrum and she's feeling better again. But in terms of the camera work, it's very interesting as there's quite a lot of camera work used, more so than the editing. So for example, there is a master shot opening onto the music video of the character sitting on the sofa with all of her birthday stuff around her, and it zooms in. Where a master shot is used, but she is at the end of the table, again zooming in on her. So we've got some foreshadowing and some repetition in the shots, which is interesting for the viewer because we recognise that it is a repetition, and we like to have a pattern in our work. So after the master shot, there's multiple extreme close-ups and regular close-ups of things that she's doing to set the story in stone. So for example, she's writing a party invite and the camera is on an aerial shot looking in on her writing that. Another example is her hand grabbing a cookie or a blue phone. There's just a lot of close-ups of the objects that she's using within the narrative. This is useful for the audience because we then identify with those objects so we can understand what is happening in the music video. Like I said, the camera work is very heavy, there's lots of it, lots of different techniques used. Just some of them are panning, high angles, mid, long, close, tracking. All these different camera techniques are being used in a way that pleases the viewer, so we're not, although some of the objects within the shot are repeated, although some of the objects in the shot are repeated, we don't get bored of watching the same thing over and over and over again, and this is what the camera work techniques do. So we would also like to incorporate this within our own music video when we film ours, because although we would also like to have the same sort of style as this music video, we also want to incorporate different ways that we can attract our audience and make them see something unusual or not so common in our own music video. So within the narrative there is a performance element where the character / artist is on a bed placed in the centre of the frame. And these shots are usually long shots or mid shots. These shots are usually long shots or mid shots. In contrast, when we see the artist as the character in the party, we are using close-ups. So this difference, this opposite of having a long shot and a close shot of different characters within the music video, gives us a more personal identity with the character rather than a personal identity with the artist. Now this is different for many indie pop genres we've seen. However, because it is an indie music with a pop video, this is typical. So we plan in our one to do the same. This is because although we are incorporating the I don't really know what I'm saying. This makes the audience create a personal identity and really look up to the character rather than the artist, which is which actually goes against Richard Dyer's theory of construct, because In his theory, he suggests that the star is a construct and all artists focus around the star. However, within this music video, the star and the artist is actually taken a back seat by having a long angle shot, so the viewers cannot be as close and with proximity with them as the character. So however, another interesting thing this music video does is the way the camera frames the artist. She's not always in the shot. She's cut off, or she's to the left or to the right. There's not all the time she is not central to the music video. In contrast to this, when we look at the performance element of the music video, the artist is always central in the frame. She is always in the middle of the frame. So in contrast to what I've just said, although the star is not taking in contrast to what I've just said, the star takes a back seat. However, because she is central in her shots and the other character is not, it may suggest that the star is actually more important than the character. The editing is continuity editing. We have discussed about doing a continuity editing within our music video. However, because we're not doing a narrative, it makes more sense for us to use non-continuity editing and create more visually pleasing shots. So the continuity editing involves match on action, and throughout the music video we can see this technique. For example, when she is writing her invitations, picking out the phone, all these different activities that she is doing, the use of match on action creates a realism around the action that she's doing, so the viewers believe that that is what she is doing. This can give a distraction. So, for example, in uses and gratifications theory, it suggests that all media is because of different reasons. In the uses and gratifications theory, it suggests that all media is used for our pleasure in different ways, and one of those different ways is a distraction. And if the audience believe that the actions that she's doing is true, then it would actually provide a distraction for them in their lives in reality. There's multiple cuts because there's a lot of shots. So the cuts are very frequent. The cuts are very frequent, and we like this idea. We like the idea of having multiple shots used for the same activity. So, for example, even though I've just said they do match on action quite a lot, there are some elements within the music video where the same activity is shot in 4 different shots. So, for example, at the very beginning when she is getting out of her bed, there are 2 shots, a close shot and a long shot of the same action being done. And we like this idea. We like the idea of having as if like too many shots for the same activity. It gives a real feel of a playful nature. Halfway through the music video, the character has a temper tantrum because people aren't coming to her party. So speed manipulation is used here post production, which is interesting because the way that it is done gives an effect on the viewer as we can understand what she's feeling. So when she's popping balloons with a knife or stamping down her cake or ripping a teddy bear apart, we can see this in slow motion, which really highlights all of her emotion from her facial expressions to the audience. This again creates a personal relationship with the character because we sympathise with her, we empathise with her, and we start to feel what she's feeling, which is again a distraction for us to have against our reality. At 1 minute 13 seconds At 1 minute 13 seconds into the music video, CGI is used to place party hats around the artist, so it looks as if she is having a party with people with hats on, however the people aren't seen. So it's just a load of floating hats that she's talking to. And we like this idea, we like the idea of having a little bit conceptual within the music video, because it adds more interesting visuals to the audience, rather than just having the same, oh, she's smashing up a teddy bear, oh, she's hitting a cake. It's different from all the other music videos I've analysed. They don't use this effect. It's a very useful effect to use, so we would like to try and use it, but obviously at the level we are, it's not possible. In terms of the mise-en-scene, the costume that the character and the artist wear are very different. In terms of mise-en-scene, the costume that the character wears is the same to what the artist is wearing. So in the performance, when she's on the bed, she wears a pink frilly gown with blue frilly socks, and she has her hair in pigtails. This is the same as the character within the first half of the music video. So it creates a link between the two people, even though they are the same person, the artist and the character. It creates a link between them, so we can understand how they're feeling. The use of the frilly socks and the puffy dress and the pigtails highlight the idea that she is a child. So this is an interesting thing about the music video. She's a grown lady, however she's portraying herself as a child, which actually would support Dyer's theory of every star's a construct, because we know that she is an adult. However, the costume would suggest that maybe she would like to be youthful. So this is actually one of his criteria. This is actually one of his criteria for a construct. Halfway through the music video, she changes costume. Halfway through the music video, she changes costume into a clown sort of costume sort of thing. Halfway through the music video, she changes costume. She wears a yellow jacket with a blue puffy skirt. She has frizzy hair and she has clown makeup on. This again highlights her usefulness, because a clown is considered a childhood entertainment, and because she is becoming that, she is becoming her own entertainment, because people aren't coming to her party. The location is just a regular house and a bedroom. However, the props used within those locations would suggest that she again is a child in an adult's body. So there's multiple toys, teddies, prams, all scattered around the house, which would suggest that she is still a child. There are multiple props that we would like to use within this music video. For example, there's balloons, there's cookies, there's colourfulness and all the different things, colourful cakes, colourful toys, all these different things that we would actually quite like to use in our music video. This is because it's a good way of getting colour into the shots, and all of the music video is colour. There's no dull shots at all. All the colour is seen through the lens, and it's very pleasing for the viewers. Levi Strauss's theory of binary opposites can be seen within this music video. For example, the artist and character both have dark hair. However, the costumes are very bright and playful. She is in a playful environment with toys and teddies. However, she has temper tantrums, which is the opposite of this. All these different things create binary opposites that allow the audience to understand what's going on and to really feel for what's happening in the music video.